Hello there, everybody, and today I'm here to review Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. So, with Superman coming out, I might as well review the final Christopher Reeve Superman movie. And I gotta say, this is easily one of my least favorite movies of all time. And I knew I'd had to review this movie someday, but with Superman being popular right now, as he's always been, let's talk about this movie. So, this came out in 1987, 2 years before Batman came out with Michael Keaton. And it's sad that this is the last Christopher Reeve Superman movie because it feels like he was done dirty in this movie because Superman 1 and 2 were successful. But after that, 3 and 4 were just not good. I mean, I thought Richard Pryor was funny in Superman 3, but why is he in the movie? But apparently, a company called Canon Films apparently wanted to do Superman 4 to save its company, but nope. It just made the movie really bad. I honestly don't see the point of Superman 4. It was just made just to be made. But even the plot is super bad. But we might as well just go over it. This is where Superman is chosen to stop a group of nuclear missiles. But apparently Lex Luthor is back to create a sort of Superman copy through the sun called Nuclear Man. So when I saw this movie as a kid, I was very unsure about it because it immediately opens with Superman rescuing a group of astronauts who don't even speak English. I was like confused, but apparently it was part of the movie. But apparently we get this one same shot of Superman flying. Like you just notice it. You can just tell it's the same flying scene. But apparently this Superman does save the astronauts. But this is where we do get Lex Luthor, played by the amazing Gene Hackman, who unfortunately passed away not that long ago. Rest in peace. But apparently we also meet Jon Cryer's character. Jon Cryer would later go on to play Lex Luthor in Supergirl. Now, I really like that version of Lex, but apparently in this movie, Jon Cryer is apparently the nephew of Lex Luthor, and he's helping him break out of prison. And apparently he tricks two cops into a cop car, and he literally uses a remote control to fly them all the way across to some random rubble. And then the cops are somehow okay, even though they're very covered in rubble basically. And then somehow this is a random nitpick, but if you notice the car, there's no engine at all. It just looks flat. It just looks so bad. But apparently at the Daily Planet, there's a new person trying to take over the Daily Planet, and he also has a niece, I'm pretty sure, named Lacey. She is I guess the new love interest to Superman. Or Clark, I don't know. Lois is in this movie too, but I don't know. She's just kind of there. But apparently Superman saves a train, and we get this random scene of Superman saying, "Oh, the subway is the most reliable means of transportation." But when Lois tries to call him out, he of course just disappears per usual because he's busy being Superman. But apparently there's this nuclear missile crisis that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and apparently is stressing out this one classroom. And this is where we meet this boy named Jeremy, who apparently says, "Oh, I know who can do some good." His classmates make fun of him, but of course he says, "No, Superman." But apparently because of this, he apparently convinces Superman to do something about nuclear weapons, and so he's going to rid the world of nuclear weapons. But apparently Lex has got some other plan. Him and Lenny apparently go to some museum where there's a strand of Superman's hair is strapped to like a giant like iron ball, and apparently can lift a ton, just a string of his hair. But apparently Lex is able to break through the glass, and he's able to just chop it off with bolt cutters like nothing. It's a weird nitpick, but like, why is he able to do that? If it can lift a ton, how is it not indestructible to bolt cutters? But apparently they use this hair, which is apparently supposed to make Nuclear Man later in the movie. But Superman apparently feels guilty over this. He starts to have an angry face for some reason. And so he decides to randomly reveal himself to Lois, that he's Superman. And apparently all that stuff in Superman 2 didn't even matter. All Superman had to do was just jump off a building with Lois and fly with her. And we get a bunch of bad green screen. Like, you could just tell they're in green screen. I know in the other Superman movies, the green screen wasn't really good at times, but they did their best. But in this, it's just done lazily. Like, you could just tell. Like, they're not really flying. Like, it just looks like they're using the same acids of green screen. I know I'm not a filmmaker, but, like, they couldn't even make the flying scenes look right. But apparently, Superman eventually does later in the movie get rid of the nuclear weapons after he makes some speech, and the speech is okay. And this is the last time we see Jeremy in the movie, who apparently was so big early in this movie. They're just like, nah. But apparently, because Superman threw all these nuclear weapons in the sun, it apparently creates Nuclear Man. And Nuclear Man just looks terrible. Like, just the costume, I don't know, it just looks super cheesy. It just looks super something you'd see in the 90s, even though this came out in the 80s. But apparently, he just already grows up, and he's already having superpowers. He's got, like, fingernails and really cool blonde hair, I guess. But apparently he's played by Mark Pillow. Apparently, he probably was having the time of his life when making this movie. But apparently he just shows up to Lex Luthor and just says, "I must destroy Superman." Like, that, it sounds so robotic. It's so over the top. But apparently he sends Nuclear Man to go kill Superman. And apparently it works for a little bit. Like, he doesn't kill him, he just injures him. The two apparently, like, when they do meet, apparently they fall off a building. They're, like, hugging each other randomly. And then it all leads to, like, them flying around the world. And then the Nuclear Man, like, picks up the Statue of Liberty. And Superman's able to pick it back up. But, of course, he gets scratched by Nuclear Man. And this is where the movie just starts to get kind of boring, where Superman just loses his powers. I even forgot to mention earlier in the movie, there's a scene where Superman has to go on a sort of date with Lacey and Lois, and apparently he has to switch between Superman and Clark, and that scene was so boring, just as boring when Superman's, like, apparently, because of this scratch, he apparently is looking old. He can't even use his powers all that much. And all he has to do is apparently he finds the green crystal from his Smallville home. And I forgot to mention earlier, Superman did go back to Smallville. And apparently someone wants to buy the Kent farm. But apparently Superman's still living there. And he picks up the green crystal. And they don't even really see him get his powers back. He just shows up back in Metropolis to take down Nuclear Man, who's apparently after Lacey for no reason. And apparently Nuclear Man just finds Lacey later when Superman and Nuclear Man go to the moon, and you can just tell they're using curtains in the background. But apparently Nuclear Man's able to beat Superman again, even when he tries to move the America flag, and he just smashes Superman into the ground, and Nuclear Man just grabs Lacey, and she somehow can breathe in space. Like, if you go, I know this movie is fiction, but like, how is she surviving in space? She's just wearing her usual dress and wearing her high heels, and she apparently can just survive in space. But apparently, Superman's able to break out of the moon, and so he literally just lifts the moon to the sun. And apparently, Nuclear Man's weakness is apparently he can only fight in the sun. And that's like a weird weakness. I know Superman has his abilities immune to kryptonite, and if he's affected by red sunlight, his powers don't work. But like, if Nuclear Man's just not around in the sun, apparently he just shuts down automatically. It's apparently just a terrible weakness they couldn't even explain. But Superman literally takes Nuclear Man all the way to a nuclear power plant, and he just shoves him in there, and then he dies. Lacey's saved. Superman makes a speech. The movie's over, and yeah, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace was a pretty bad movie because they clearly just did not care. They just made this movie just to make it. It's just sad that Richard Donner never really got to continue his Superman movies after Superman 2. I mean, he got his Richard Donner cut released, but like, other than that, he never got to really capture the magic of Christopher Reeve as Superman. I mean, he's all right in the movie. He's just kind of there. Like, he gives all right speeches. Like, he just does his job as Superman, but that's just not enough for a good movie. And I forgot to mention, Lex and Lenny get captured, of course, by Superman. Lex is taken back to jail. Lenny's taken back to boarding school. And yeah, and it's sad that even Gene Hackman didn't really do much in the movie either. He just creates Nuclear Man and just wants to be the greedy businessman. Yeah, it's unfortunate Gene Hackman did pass away, even at such an old age, but it's just sad that Christopher Reeve never got to play Superman again. He did appear in Smallville, but like, this is when, unfortunately, Christopher Reeve had a horse accident and he was paralyzed for the rest of his life until he passed away in 2005. And he did appear in Smallville, but that character was killed off when Christopher Reeve passed away. But I think Christopher Reeve was definitely my favorite Superman of all time. I'm really curious what David Cornsweet's going to be as Superman. I'm going to see the movie next week. Maybe I'll probably do a vlog of it. But I hope it's really good. And of course, I'm going to be reviewing some Superman animated movies. I'll probably release it probably Monday or some random time during the weekend. We shall wait and see. But I also plan to review Superman Returns and Man of Steel to finish off these reviews. Then maybe I'll review the Fantastic Four movies. We shall wait and see. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.